Well, it's another rousing rendition of Box in a Box. As you can see, this box is much bigger than your normal box, electric box sitting next door to be able to judge by. So, what have we got in here? I'll open the first box and come back. So it should surprise nobody that's been following the channel that I am getting this guitar, because I am one that I am mostly an acoustic guitar player that just happens to play electrics. But Taylor guitars, I don't generally get excited about, because I got the one that I really wanted at the very beginning, and I've only gotten a couple since. And the ones that I have that I've gotten since have been good guitars, but it took a long time for me to get to a point, or actually for Taylor to get to a point, where they made something that I really felt like I had to have. And to be honest with you, this one may make a couple of the Taylors go away in favor of just having this one. The 810, which we've got a video up on, really did change how I looked at these guitars in general, because before then I was kind of a Martin and Gibson guy, and not until I picked up the 810 did I go, now where did this come from? And so because of that, this guitar right here is the first time I have actually gotten super duper excited about a Taylor model. And the reason for that is because I personally got a chance to see this guitar, one of these guitars, before it actually got shipped. And so it was a ringer, I think, because it was what I think is a demonstrator that was for a shop that will remain nameless. So it was not Sweetwater. I will go ahead and tell you that. This is where this one came from. And it was not there because I don't live anywhere near Sweetwater. But I will get this case out and be right back. But I got to pick this guitar, one of these up, and play it. And I gotta tell you, it made me excited for a Taylor. And I hadn't been excited about a Taylor in a while. I had done some trades and picked up some acoustics over my years in the AD-17, the AD-27. But for the most part, the 810 has been what I judge everything by, because that's just the first Taylor that I got, and they just did it right. Even Taylor acknowledges that guitar just sounds right. And mine might just be a ringer. And the one I picked up of these guitars, that was a pre-production model, might have been a ringer too. But what we have here is the new 417e-R. Now, it's 417e, and the R is rosewood. And this guitar is new in the Taylor lineup. There's never been a 417 until now. The 517, 317, 717s have all existed, but the 4 is new. And it has, if I'm remembering the specs right, rosewood back and sides with spruce top. And these inlays are just absolutely beautiful. But what struck me about these guitars was that they just felt and sounded right. And the one that I'm impressed by really made me feel like they had found a combination that was going to make Gibson nervous. Now, normally I will order a guitar without that. At this time, I don't think you can order one of these without it. Probably going to happen a little bit later on, but I believe this one is registered because of the way the case is. I think this is a builder's edition model. So it does have the, what do they call it, ES2 system on it. So it will be a fun demonstration when that comes around. But this guitar has a sound very out of tune, obviously, but the actual sound of this guitar when played is outstanding and very reminiscent of a Montana-based company. So, like I say, now what do you get inside here? Yeah, you get your standard Taylor fare. Nothing special, nothing amazing. It is just the basic setups and all the stuff that you get when you buy a Taylor guitar. That has a hard shell case at least. I mean, I suppose there's something different in the ones that are the Arrow cases, but the Arrow case is a really good case though. Something I think is interesting though is right here, GP. So I guess they have designations in them. I've never gotten one of these cases before. So this is the first time I've gotten a hard shell case from Taylor in the 21st century. The 810, of course, is a 97 model, and it came with a hard shell case. And that hard shell case is very different than this. And this is very ornate and very pretty. Now, I think they call it U-tile, but a lot of folks just say that's a renaming of mahogany. Is that correct? I really don't have a good answer for that because I don't know enough about woods to be able to say. But I will tell you this. This one has a beautiful amount of wood grain to it that gives it an amazing look. So I will let this one adjust for a couple of days, get it tuned up, and then have a playing demonstration for the second half of this video shortly. So, this guitar, again, was one that I was excited to play and excited to get a hold of because I had actually at a Taylor event gotten to touch one of these before, a pre-production model. I was really curious because we could not talk about that until these guys launched, what this guitar felt and sounded like. And I must tell you, it lives up to the hype even after getting it here. I mean, the beauty of it with the rosewood back and sides and the streaks of the rosewood. I mean, everything about it is just spot friggin' on. The neck, it's an average feeling neck. But I tell you what, it does have a great comfort cut feel to it. I mean, and the inlays, wow, look at the inlays. I mean, is that something that's, having not gotten a higher end or even a moderate end Taylor in a while, this guitar just looks the part. I mean, just everything about it has all the right appearance, the feel. And as I said in the earlier part of this video, that it has an appearance and a sound that is that's going to put some Montana-based company on notice, because, or at least it should, because it's really, really nice. Now, it took a while to figure out how to operate. I'm not super familiar with the Taylor operating system. The AD27 that we have has a K&K Pure Mini, and it doesn't have anything. It's a pickup. So the Pure Mini is so easy to operate that it is just plug and play. Now this one is a little bit more up, a little higher end. It's got the, what do they call it? The ES2, I think, that they have for the actual, I think it's called the ES2 sound system. So you go from this sounding, this is the way the guitar sounds. To having the pickup on. Now I'm turning it all the way up, all the way, because if you don't, it kind of, in the middle, I mean, like, I'll play at 10 and then I'll come back and drop it down to 5, because in the middle, it doesn't make quite as much a difference. Now, that said, and I have to have the, have to have the monitor facing away from me to do this, but now, if you turn the bass up and you turn the volume up, it will absolutely start feeding back. And so the bass was just set at like 6. Now it's set at 10, and you can see why it does that. Now, turn it back down to 6, and it has a nice, again, having only had the K&K Pure Mini on a Taylor before, I do not necessarily have a good feeling on how the ES2 system sounds. So I don't generally play plugged in. I like my guitars. I'm kind of a purist. Pretty much everything I have that's an acoustic, unless it just randomly came with it, unless, let me rephrase that. Unless it came with it and I couldn't order it without it, they've always got, I order guitars without pickups, because I'm a wood purist. I think the sound of the wood is the sound of the wood, and if you need anything else, you just put a ribbon mic on it and call it a day. But at the end of the day, that not everybody feels that way, and I'm in the minority, probably. But this guitar at launch is the 417e-R. So it is absolutely a great guitar, and it is 100% just a great feeling guitar. But enough about me talking about it. Let me play a couple of finger picking riffs, and then, like I say, I'll play it with or without the pickup. Yeah, same riff with the bass set at 6, and actually, let's turn the, because I think it's bass, treble, and then tone, and then volume. So let's set both of the EQs at 5, but the volume is at 10. turn the treble up, but of course, I always say the measure of a guitar is how it sounds when there's no assistance. Both EQs set at 12, volume set to 10. Now, words can't express how comfortable this guitar feels. I mean, you literally have to pick one up to play. And Taylors always have a really good feeling to them. They always have the ability to just be right. Right out of the box, they just always sound good. They play well. You tune them up and they just give you the right sound. So, Taylor 417e-R. I gotta tell you, I'm a fan. I don't usually pick up Taylor guitars and think, man, this guitar really makes me feel like I need to rush out and get it. But this one did. And maybe it's the thrill of knowing what one looked like and what one sounded like at a Taylor event before it actually launched. Or maybe it's just that good. You should definitely check one out. Sweetwater is where this one came from. They should be available at most of your local retailers. I'm going to presume that this is not some special edition for Sweetwater or anywhere else, considering I think they said it was going to be available at everywhere. But the actual guitar itself plays so nice, and the appointments on it are just gorgeous. I mean, this inlay is hard to capture on camera, but it is just gorgeous in person, and the headstock goes along with it, though not glossy. And I'm kind of surprised about that, because I kind of thought that these should have a gloss on them, but maybe that's something for the higher 717, 517 models, or I'm not really sure. But it pulls it off really well. Kind of wish it matched this, though. Kind of wish the headstock matched the guitar itself. But I will say this is a really nice. This is a really nice guitar, and I will say this is probably going to stay in my collection, because I think this one, I think the presence of this guitar might make the black top in 27 go away, though. I don't know, the 27's pretty flexible out and about, so that may not necessarily be as true as I think it is. But, well, like I say, Taylor 417e-R. If you can find one in stock, pick one up and play it, because you got to find out, right? Until next time.